Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, I'll be going through my tips from round 16 as well as previewing my tips for round 17. Trying to make this one a shorter-ish video, as these videos I don't like the tipping ones going for too long. 8 to 10 minutes is roughly around the range that I want them to sit at. But anyway, before we jump into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into this video. So the first tip of the round 16 that I had was Brisbane by 23 points. They ended up winning by 5 points, so I was 18 points off, but I was just happy that that tip was right. As getting them tipped right on the tough game like that. I mean, Brisbane were, I think, majority tipped, but went 2-2. I think it was, 80-odd%, something like that, I believe. But yeah, getting that tip right is a good start to the round, and yeah, that was a really good tip. I said Western Bulldogs by 27 points over North Melbourne. I didn't expect this to be a shellacking like we've sort of predicted North Melbourne to have in the past. I think they're getting better and better now, and their young core is really developing, and I really want to see that midfield with Wardlaw and Simpkin, as well as LDU, Sheasel, and Phillips. I think, what's that, a five-man crew that I just named? That five-man crew could do well with Phillips in that tagging role, and Sheasel in that more mid-forward role. So, yeah, I predicted them to win by 27. The Bulldogs, they won by 17, so I was 10 points off there, but I really like the fight from North Melbourne. Then we go to the Sydney Swans versus Fremantle. I said Sydney by 26. Should have gone less because they ended up losing by a point. McDonald couldn't convert a chance just on 50 on a slide angle after the siren to at least get a point to get the draw or to win the game. But to be honest with you, for the Swans, yes, it does suck to lose a game, like it does suck, but it could be the reality check they need. They looked a little bit disjointed in the game. They looked like their defense was a little bit muddled. They weren't really working as hard as what they probably should have been, and that's what had caused an onslaught from Fremantle to start, and that's what Sydney is. The only real worry about the Swans is their first quarter, just letting it slide, and then something like that occurring where they can't actually get it back. I don't think they led by much, if any, in the game. So that was the big problem for them. Then you have Gold Coast against Collingwood. Gold Coast won by 11, and I actually predicted that on the dot. So yes, I'm very, very, very happy about that. Tipping Gold Coast to win that game in what was a dire Saturday for me, in which I tipped 2 out of 5. Yeah, so tipping Gold Coast in that game was pretty good. I didn't like the look of it when Collingwood stormed back. When Gold Coast were up by 30, I was like, yeah, I've got this tip right. I don't really care. So that was really surprising, I guess, that they almost led up a lead, but they were at home, so it makes sense that they won in the end. Then you've got Adelaide against GWS. I said GWS played 25, and man, are they shocking. What was that by them? That was absolutely shocking display. And yeah, so I say GWS by 25, they lost by 16. 41-point differential there. Pretty annoying. Then I told you guys in the video, I know that I said my head says Essendon, but my heart says Geelong. Or it was one way or the other. I don't remember exactly the way it was. Like for the video, I wanted to tip Essendon, but I knew that Geelong were going to win this, sadly. So I tipped Essendon to go along with it, but I knew that this was a tough game for Essendon, and so I had tipped them by 18, and they lost by 45, 63-point turnaround. Will be interesting to see. I don't know who they exactly played this week, but that was shocking. St Kilda against Port, I predicted Port by 15, they won by 2. Glad to have that win in there. Then I tipped Carlton against Richmond by 24, they ended up winning by 61. That was a pretty easy tip. Then, even though I was off by 37, and then Hawthorn against West Coast Eagles. West Coast Eagles looked pretty poor. I tipped Hawthorn by 27. They ended up winning by 61 points again. So those were all of the round 16 tips. Then we move on to round 17. The first tip of the round is Collingwood against Essendon tonight. Who do I think is going to win? I really like I'm pretty sure the ins for Collingwood were pretty big lineups, but I could be wrong. Let me just double check that for you guys. You have Dean, Schultz, and Long in for McCrory, Sullivan, and Noble. I think that's honestly could be an upgrade a little bit there. And yeah, I think Collingwood are going to get the job done because Dyson Heppel is being managed, Todd Goldstein's being managed, and Menzies is out for Shields, Kelly, and Caddy. I don't like the think that Darcy Cameron will be able to outdo Draper in the ruck. I also think that the midfield of Jagoe, Dacos and Pendlebury is probably better than Durham, Caldwell and Merritt. And then you've got, I just like their lineup a little bit better, to be honest with you. Collingwood, I think they've got more experience, and I think they're starting to get their players back and rolling through, and I just like their, especially guys on their bench, I like their bench a lot better with Kruger, Crisp, Hoskin, Elliott, Harvey, Harrison, and probably Ned Long's going to be the sub, but that's a lot better than Shield, Gresham, Cox, Kelly, and Caddy, in my opinion. So I'm going to go Collingwood by 21 points, I reckon. It's going to be a little bit of a blowout. And so, I'm just going to predict Collingwood to win this one by 21 points. Then you have North against Gold Coast. North, actually, I think, need to have some respect, given that. But the problem is, do you tip Gold Coast? Because they're in... Gold Coast are 11th. With this win, they probably get close to, if not in the 8. Probably not, actually, now looking at it now. They wouldn't get into the 8, I don't think they would. Because 8th is Brisbane Lions. And I expect them to win Brisbane. Yeah, it was Brisbane. Yeah, Brisbane against Adelaide, they'll win that. So I'm going to go Gold Coast, but I'm going to be a little bit not surprised if North actually put up a really good performance and win this one. I'm going to go Gold Coast by 11 points. I think they finally get that win, break the cycle, and this is when... So we always say this with Gold Coast, it seems like the last 3 or 4 seasons, that around about round 16, 17, 18 is when they're looking at finals, they're in this position, and then they fall away. This is the make or break game where they got to win it to stay in touch. Port against Western Bulldogs, this is a massive, massive match. Adelaide Oval, Port are on a little bit of a run here. Sorry, not actually. They got their first win in a little while after getting thumped at Adelaide Oval in their last 2 games. I actually thought they were on a 2-game winning streak, not a singular. And then you've got Western Bulldogs, who have won their last 2 games against Fremantle and then also against North Melbourne. Which Bulldogs is going to turn up? What are the lineups like? Who do they have coming back? Where are the lineups here? Give me the Bulldogs lineup, please. Where are the Bulldogs lineup? They have Caulfield, Kalmus, and McNeil for Jones, Waitman, and Baker. Jones and Waitman are huge outs, and then Port don't really have much of a change. I'm going to go with... I think Port Adelaide win this one but it'll be a tight one. I'm going to go Port by 7 points. Then you got Geelong versus Hawthorn. Even though Hawthorn are playing decent footy... they beat Brisbane, they beat Adelaide, they beat GWS, they beat Richmond, and they beat West Coast, who have Geelong beaten recently. They beat Richmond way back when, and then they beat Essendon. I actually think, let me just check the lineups here quickly. Geelong have omitted Clark and O'Connor for Manor and Henry. They basically don't have a ruckman. They don't have a ruckman against Lloyd Meek. Who's their backup ruckman? I can't even... it may be DeConing, but I think Meek could actually hand him. I'm going to go against the grain, and I think Hawthorn win this game, to be honest with you. I think Hawthorn have a chance of winning this game, even though it's at GMHBA. I think no Tom Hawkins for now, a couple of weeks now, as well as a ruckman battle, and I think Geelong are a little bit mismanaged in their lineup. I'm going to go Hawthorn by 16 points. I hope that actually happens. Carlton are going to beat GWS. GWS look like a little bit of a mess at the moment. Carlton look like the form team in the comp. So I'm going to go Carlton by 20 points. Fremantle against Richmond. Richmond have looked pretty poor in the second half against Carlton, and Fremantle look like one of also the form teams in the comp. So I'm going to go Fremantle with a commanding win at home by 45 points. Melbourne against West Coast. Melbourne surely win this game, even though it's West Coast who they did lose to early in the season, but West Coast were riding a wave at that point with Harley Reid and Elliot Yeo smashing it in the middle. I'm going to go Melbourne here by... Melbourne, West Coast also don't have Flynn, which will be a huge out, so I'm going to go Melbourne by 31 points. I think they make a commanding we are not over last almost stand here in this year. St Kilda against Swans. I'm backing my Swans in again by 14 points, just because I think that they will come back and make a statement in this game. think that Max King being out, is it Max King that being out? Let me just double check that. I always get the King brothers wrong. King, Camaminti, and Dow out injured definitely helps the Swans, given that they have, it'll be Tim Membry instead of Max King leading the line. Their forward line is effectively Philippou, Owens, and Membry, and then they've also got Sharman, Higgins, and Henry. So I'm really looking at that and thinking that's possible. Yes, the Swans don't have Cunningham, but I think they'll be better. So I'm going Sydney by 14. And then Brisbane against Adelaide. I'm going Brisbane by 28 points. I just think that they are on a wave now, Brisbane, and they're coming home strong. With a win here, they will probably jump. I said Collingwood were going to win. So with a win that I have them projected to get. Did I say Port as well? Port win as well. So I have them jumping, another 2 places here. And from 8th to 6th, Brisbane, with only, a game or 2 outside of the top 3 or 4. So they are really on track, I think, to make it into finals. So that is the tips that I have for this video. And I guess I will see you guys for my first game review I'll probably do it Sunday. I don't really record much on Saturdays, and which will probably come back and go after the when the uni term starts, given my timetable, and I'm all in on Monday. So I'll probably start then doing Saturday uploads. But at the moment, I will be doing just Sunday, Monday, Tuesday for the next foreseeable future. But I guess I will get back to you guys when, you'll hear when that starts, the Saturday uploads, etc. But it'll be a Sunday upload, I believe, next for the first recap of the round. So I'll see you guys in that video. Bye, guys.